5. Signs God's punishing the narcissist for hurting you. Well, let me ask you something. How many of you have ever been wronged by someone who thought they could get away with it? Someone who manipulated, lied, and took advantage of your kindness. Maybe it was a narcissist. Someone who broke your trust, drained your energy, and left you questioning your own worth. And here's the real question. Have you ever wondered if they're facing the consequences of what they did to you? I want you to hear me loud and clear. No one escapes accountability, not even the narcissist. You may not see it immediately. You may feel like they're out there living their best life while you're left dealing with the wreckage. But make no mistake, my friend, God has a way of handling people who refuse to change. And today I'm going to show you 5 undeniable signs that the narcissist who hurt you is facing divine justice. Their fake world starts crumbling. A narcissist thrives on illusion, fake love, fake success, fake happiness. But eventually the cracks start showing. The lies they told, the people they used, it all starts falling apart. Their once perfect image, destroyed. Their charm, worn out. The truth always comes to light. They lose the people who fed their ego. Listen, narcissists need an audience. They need people to admire them, to validate them, to make them feel powerful. But when God starts working, he strips them of their enablers. One by one, people see through the act. Friends walk away, supporters disappear. And suddenly, they're left with nothing but their own emptiness. They face rejection, where they expect praise. A narcissist craves approval, but when divine justice hits, doors slam shut. The promotions they thought they'd get denied. The relationships they wanted to control, gone. They walk into rooms expecting admiration and are met with silence. They feel the sting of rejection, the same sting they once inflicted on you. Their health and energy deteriorate. When you hurt others, it doesn't just affect your mind, it affects your body. Stress, anxiety, insomnia, it all catches up. A narcissist who once seemed invincible, suddenly they're drained. The weight of their actions, the consequences of their toxicity, it manifests in ways they can't escape. They're forced to confront themselves, and this is the biggest punishment of all. A narcissist runs from reality. But when all their masks are stripped away, when there's no one left to blame, they're left alone with the one thing they fear most, themselves. No distractions, no admiration, just the harsh reality of who they really are. And let me tell you, that is a torment unlike any other concept with compassion for yourself. So what does this mean for you? It means you don't have to seek revenge. You don't have to waste another second wondering if they'll get what they deserve, because justice is already in motion. Your job is to focus on your healing, your growth, your comeback, because while they're stuck in the past, drowning in their own destruction, you're rising, you're thriving, you're stepping into the life that was meant for you. And that, my friend, is the greatest victory of all. Now go out there and claim it. No one escapes accountability. Karma is real. Let's get something straight. The universe doesn't miss a thing. Every action, every intention, every choice sends out energy. And that energy, it always comes back. You can't cheat the system. You can't manipulate it. You can't trick it into believing you're something you're not. A narcissist thinks they're above consequences. They think they can get away with their lies, their cruelty, their manipulation. But here's the truth. There is no escape from universal law. There is no shortcut. There is no loophole. Whatever they put out, it's coming right back to them. You don't need to lift a finger. You don't need to plot revenge. You don't need to waste a single ounce of energy wondering if they'll pay for what they did. That's already been decided. The moment they chose deception over honesty, selfishness over love, destruction over integrity, their fate was sealed. Think of it like planting seeds. Every action is a seed in the ground. The narcissist planted seeds of betrayal, manipulation, and deceit. And at first it may have seemed like nothing happened, but then the harvest comes. And the only thing that can grow from those seeds is chaos, isolation, and downfall. Here's what you need to do. Stay out of their karma. Don't try to speed up their downfall. Don't stand around waiting for it to happen. You have too much to build, too much to create, too much life ahead of you. While they're sinking in the mess they made, you rise. You see, when you stay in your power, their punishment becomes your liberation. While they deal with their consequences, you break free from their grip. While they crumble under the weight of their own deception, you step into the greatest version of yourself. The best revenge, success, peace, freedom. You don't need to see them suffer to know justice is being served. You just need to know that no one, and I mean no one, escapes the energy they create. So instead of focusing on their downfall, focus on your breakthrough. Instead of wondering when they'll pay, focus on how you're going to win. Because trust me, the universe is handling them. Your only job is to step into the destiny that was always meant for you. The narcissist's fake world will eventually collapse. A narcissist's greatest talent? Lying to themselves and everyone around them. They build a world based on illusion. They wear a mask. They create a story where they're always the hero and everyone else is to blame. But let me tell you something about lies. They're weak. They can't hold up under pressure. They can't withstand the test of time. And no matter how perfect they make their life look on the outside, eventually the truth cracks through. At first, you might feel like they're winning. They move on so quickly. They seem happy. They act like they never cared. But don't be fooled. That's just the performance. And a performance can only last so long before the curtain falls. Look deeper and you'll see the exhaustion, the fear, the cracks in their carefully constructed reality. They are constantly running from exposure, constantly covering their tracks, constantly living in fear that the truth will finally catch up to them. And guess what? It always does. You cannot build a life on lies and expect it to stand. Every relationship they sabotage, every bridge they burn, every person they betray, it all adds up. And one day the weight of their own deception becomes too heavy to carry. When that happens, their empire collapses. The job they manipulated their way into, gone. The social circle they controlled, scattered. The image they spent years creating, destroyed in a moment. And when it happens, don't be surprised if they try to crawl back to you. Don't let them. They are not seeking redemption. They are seeking a life raft. And your life is meant for more than being someone else's backup plan. Because here's what's happening while they crumble. You're rising. You're stepping into your power. You're no longer the person they once manipulated. You are stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. So let them fall. Let their false world collapse. And while they're busy picking up the pieces, you build something real. They will lose the people who fed their ego. A narcissist doesn't just live for attention, they depend on it. They need people to validate them, admire them, fuel their sense of superiority. But what happens when those people wake up? At first, the narcissist seems untouchable. They collect admirers, flying monkeys, enablers, they create a following. But here's the thing, you can only fool people for so long. Eventually, the truth surfaces. People see through the act. One by one, their supporters leave. The people who once praised them start questioning them. The ones who defended them begin to realize the pattern. And suddenly, the narcissist is alone. This is where the real punishment begins, because a narcissist cannot survive without control, without validation, without an audience. And when they lose it, they feel powerless. At first, they'll try to manipulate their way back. They'll guilt trip. They'll play the victim. But here's the catch. It won't work anymore. The charm is gone. The lies have caught up. The cycle is broken. As they struggle to rebuild their following, something even more painful happens. They become irrelevant. No one is listening. No one is paying attention. The spotlight they fought so hard for, it's gone. And while they're trapped in isolation, trying to regain control, you are thriving. You are surrounded by real love, real support, real success. You no longer need their approval because you have something so much more powerful, yourself. So don't worry about what they're doing. Don't wonder if they still have people fooled, because in the end, they always lose. And the moment they lose their audience, that's the moment they lose everything. This is just the beginning. Each of these keynotes expands on the deep consequences narcissists face for their actions. without you having to lift a single finger. If you want the full breakdown for the remaining keynotes, let me know and we'll dive even deeper into the truth that sets you free. Rejection will replace the admiration they once craved. A narcissist lives for admiration. It's their fuel. It's their oxygen. They need to be worshiped, praised, and envied. It's how they convince themselves they're untouchable. But what happens when admiration turns into rejection? What happens when the doors they thought would always open start slamming shut? That's when the real pain begins for them. At first, they don't see it coming. They still believe they're the most charming, the smartest, the one in control. They expect applause when they walk in the room. They expect to be the center of attention. But one day the script changes. They walk into a conversation and no one cares. They reach out for validation and get silence. The job promotion they were so sure of, it goes to someone else. The new relationship they flaunted falls apart. The social circles they controlled, they move on without them. This is the narcissist's worst nightmare because for the first time in their life, they are powerless. No one is interested in their act anymore. No one is playing along. They've burned too many bridges, broken too many promises, and hurt too many people. They'll try to fight it. They'll try to manipulate their way back into favor, but this time, the world isn't buying it. They are no longer the master of the game. They are the outcast. And do you know what's happening while they're drowning in rejection? You are rising into your worth. You are no longer looking to them for validation. You have learned that your power comes from within, not from their approval. And the best part, you don't even care about their downfall anymore, because while they're stuck in the past, you're walking boldly into your future. So let them feel the weight of rejection. Let them sit in the silence they once forced you to endure. Because in the end, the tables always turn. Their health and energy will deteriorate under stress. You've seen it before. A narcissist walks around like they're invincible. They act like nothing phases them. They believe they're immune to consequences. But let me tell you something real. The body never lies. A narcissist may fool people for a while, but they can't fool their own nervous system. Every lie, every act of manipulation, every toxic game they play, it takes a toll. And eventually it shows up where they can't hide it, their health. At first it starts small. They have trouble sleeping. Their mind is restless. Their energy feels off. But over time, it gets worse. They feel drained. They lose their drive. The stress of keeping up their lies starts eating them alive. And before they know it, the power they once felt, gone. Their body starts working against them. Headaches, anxiety, weight gain or weight loss, chronic fatigue, insomnia. It's all part of the price they pay for their deception. You see, when you live in truth, you feel light, you have energy, you wake up with purpose. But when you live in deception, it rots you from the inside out. This is what's happening to the narcissists who hurt you. They may still put on a show, but inside, they are exhausted. They are breaking down. And the worst part, they can't fix it because the cause of their suffering is themselves. They will try to distract themselves. They will chase new highs, but nothing will work. Their body knows the truth, their mind knows the truth, and the weight of their own toxic energy will crush them in the end. Meanwhile, you are thriving, you are healing, your energy is returning. You feel lighter, happier, free, and that's because you are no longer carrying their darkness. You chose you. So while they waste away in the chaos they created, you move forward with strength, clarity, and an unstoppable future. They will be forced to confront their own darkness. This is the moment they feared the most, the moment when they can no longer distract themselves, no longer hide, no longer manipulate their way out of reality. The narcissist is now alone. The relationships they used, gone. The admiration they craved disappeared. The power they once held vanished. And now, for the first time in their life, they are left alone with the one thing they've been running from, themselves. This is where the real punishment happens. Because a narcissist isn't just afraid of consequences, they are terrified of their own reflection. Without distractions, without enablers, without an audience, they are forced to sit in the truth of who they really are. And let me tell you, there is no greater torment for them. They start replaying their mistakes. They start realizing the relationships they destroyed. They feel the weight of everything they've lost. And for the first time, they can't blame anyone else. They will spiral. They will panic. They will try to numb the pain, but nothing works because the thing they fear the most, the truth, is right in front of them. Meanwhile, you are at peace. You are no longer shackled to their chaos. You are no longer tied to their darkness. You have broken free, and while they're drowning in the mess they created, you are thriving in the light of your own healing. This is divine justice. This is the real consequence of their actions. They can run, they can fight, they can deny, but in the end, they must face themselves. And trust me, for a narcissist, that is the ultimate punishment. Your greatest power is focusing on your own growth. Justice is already being served. Now, let me bring this home. You might have spent months, years, even decades wondering when the narcissist would pay for what they did to you. But I'm here to tell you, they already are. You don't need to chase justice. It's already happening. You don't need to hope for their downfall. It's already in motion. The best thing you can do, stop looking back. Your power isn't in revenge. Your power isn't in waiting for them to suffer. Your power is in moving forward and building a life so rich, so powerful, so full of love and success that their existence becomes nothing more than a distant memory. Because while they are stuck in the cycle of destruction, you are breaking free. While they are losing everything, you are gaining everything. While they are trapped in darkness, you are stepping into your light. So let them deal with their consequences. Let the universe, let God handle their karma. You have too much greatness ahead of you. You have too much greatness ahead of you. You have dreams to build, a life to create, a destiny to step into. And when you fully embrace that, that's when you win. Because the greatest revenge is not their suffering, it's your success. And my friend, you are just getting started. This is the power shift you've been waiting for. Now tell me, are you ready to leave the past behind and step into the life you were born to live? The narcissists are so bright, so powerful, that their existence becomes irrelevant. You don't need to wait for their punishment. You don't need to wonder if justice will be served. It already is. Every lie they told, every person they manipulated, every bridge they burned, it's all coming back to them. They built their own downfall, but you are stepping into something greater. Your energy is rising, your soul is healing, your life is expanding in ways you never imagined. And that's the real victory. So don't look back, don't check to see if they're suffering. Don't waste another second on someone who was never worthy of your heart, because you have too much to do, too much to create, too much greatness ahead of you. This isn't just about what they lost, it's about what you gained. Strength, freedom, a future filled with everything you deserve. And when you step fully into that, you win. Now, tell me, are you ready to leave the past behind and claim the life you were meant for? Because I already know the answer. Let's go.